Hello, I'm Captain Moran, and I am literally delighted to answer some of your questions as received through Eason's Asks. That's a hashtag. The first question is, and they're all so nice. The first question is, you have such a talent for writing about songs and their context. After being a music journalist, did you ever consider writing any songs or lyrics yourself? Yes, I did. Around the age of 11, 12, 13, I was a very pious child. I was a very noble child. And so I wrote a great many songs about the injustices of the world, and how cruel people were, and how we all just needed to love each other, man, and just fight for equality. And then around about the age of 14, I realised that I was basically turning into a lady sting and stopped. Hello. The second question is, what do you think are or will be the biggest dangers for women in 2020? Well, I think we all know what that has generally been in the lockdown. It's been housework, it's been caring. Both of these things have been in the headlines, as these generally tend to be women's jobs, jobs for which we get no credit and often no pay for. And as we've seen during the lockdown, these are the things that just stop women being able to get on with their lives. It stops us being able to work, it stops us being able to be creative, it stops us being able to change the world, because we're just at home folding up wet towels and looking after children and homeschooling them. I've written a huge about this in my new book, More Than a Woman, because I think that words like love and care, which tend to be female things, need to be seen as things equally valuable as things like entrepreneurship and being a great business person. So that is my hope, that as we go into 2021, having all seen who the key workers are, what is important in society, who it is that keeps these things together, that these are the things that will be triumphs for women in 2021, having our value reassessed and being paid for it. Question number 3. What is Caitlin doing instead of going to Glastonbury this year? Well, I've spent 2 months crying about the fact that I'm not going. I've been every year since 1992, and I'll be watching it on telly like everyone else. But I've tried to take a little bit of the Glastonbury magic and apply it to my life anyway, because one of the things I love the most about Glastonbury is that thing where you've been up all night and you're walking around the campsite as the sun goes up in this beautiful countryside and just being thrilled to be alive and remembering how beautiful this country is. So I've been getting up at 5 o'clock every morning for the last week and just going for walks in the neighbourhood and seeing what a completely different world it is at 5 o'clock in the morning. There's a whole free extra day before about 8 o'clock in the morning, and if you get up early, you get a whole extra day. It's amazing. The lovely Caitlin, you're all being so nice. The lovely Caitlin is such a prolific writer. Yay. Does she ever have writer's block or wonder what to write with a deadline looming? Well, I am very lucky. The answer is no, because I always keep a little note of things that I want to talk about anyway, and things that I'm writing. But also, if you ever feel like you can't come up with an idea, just simply read the newspapers and watch the news. There's always some asshat getting it wrong, and therefore you have to burst into print and just prove them wrong and put the world to rights. Dear Caitlin, you are my hero. Please, can you be Prime Minister? Well, I couldn't be worse at it than the current one. I'm so angry at the inequalities and lack of realisation about climate change. Keep telling people how it is and help them understand. But I want to ask you, how can I be less angry in the light of everything that's going on in the world? I don't think you need to be less angry. Angry is good. The thing is about anger, don't do anger, use anger. If you go out and communicate, particularly on social media, in anger, people won't listen to what you're saying. They'll just hear your emotion and they will react back to you with anger. And then you'll just be in a huge arguing match and no one's listening to what anyone's saying. So what you need to do instead is feel that anger and turn it into an energy to find out what you can do, sign the petitions, join organisations, research stuff, and then communicate, if you can, with humour. And if you can't manage humour, at least gentleness and reasonableness and a slight air of boggling, because people will listen to you if you use those tones. If you communicate in anger, all that you'll get is people being angry back at you. And if you're like me, that will make you cry. So keep being angry, but use it as a fuel rather than your end product. Oh, well, this has all been so lovely. You've all sent such nice questions. No one slagged me off. I can only presume my family didn't hear about this, or they would have bombarded me with horrible things. The only thing left to say is that my new book, More Than a Woman, which I really think you will dig, I've tried to be very useful, is out on the 3rd of September, and you can pre-order it from easons.com, who are just absolutely lovely. Thank you for asking me to do this. Hope you're all good. Bye.